Winter might seem like the time to hang up your gardening gloves, but the smartest gardeners know this season holds the secret to next year's abundant harvest. While others wait for spring, you can be setting the foundation for your most productive garden yet. Here are 11 cold weather tasks that will transform your 2026 growing season into something spectacular. 11. Start your seeds smart. Ever wonder why some gardeners seem to have vegetables ready weeks before everyone else? The secret lies in what they do right now, while snow covers the ground. Seed starting in winter isn't just about getting ahead. It's about giving your plants the time they actually need to reach their full potential. Long-season crops like onions, shallots and artichokes require months of growing time that summer simply can't provide. Starting these indoors during midwinter ensures they'll mature properly by harvest time. Meanwhile, ordering your seeds now means you'll have first pick of varieties before the popular ones sell out. Set up your grow room by checking your seed starting supplies and sterilizing any reused pots with a 10% bleach solution. Create extra space with temporary shelving that you can put up in winter and take down come transplant time. For those short on indoor space, try winter sowing outdoors in milk jug greenhouses, where seeds get natural cold stratification while staying protected from harsh weather. This foundation step determines whether you'll have robust, early producing plants or struggle to catch up all season long. 10. Test your soil. Your soil is either working for you or against you, and winter is when you decide which it'll be. Most gardeners wait until spring to think about soil health, then wonder why their plants struggle while dealing with soggy, unworkable ground. Soil testing should happen every 3 years, and winter gives you time to act on those results. Your local cooperative extension office can test your soil, or you can use an at-home kit to check nutrient levels and pH. The key advantage of testing now is having months for amendments to integrate naturally into your soil structure. Adding compost, lime, or sulfur in fall allows these materials to break down slowly through freeze-thaw cycles. This creates better soil structure than trying to rush amendments in spring when you're eager to plant. Working your soil now also prevents you from compacting wet spring soil, which can take years to recover from. Preparing new beds during winter gives cover crops and organic matter time to work their magic, creating the rich, loose soil that produces those enviable harvests your neighbours always ask about. 9. Cover crop. What if your empty garden beds could be improving themselves while you're inside staying warm? Cover crops are like having a crew of soil workers labouring for free all winter long, but only if you get them started before it's too late. Different cover crops serve different purposes, so match your choice to your goals. Need to skip fertilizers next year? Plant nitrogen-fixing legumes like crimson clover, hairy vetch, or field peas. Want to prevent nutrient loss? Try nitrogen-catching grasses like winter rye or oats. Worried about erosion on slopes? Fast-growing buckwheat or annual ryegrass creates quick coverage. Scatter seeds evenly and generously across prepared beds, choosing varieties suited to your hardiness zone. In warm climates, you can sow any time and mow them down before they go to seed. In cold regions, plant early enough for establishment before killing frost, then let winter naturally break them down into organic matter. The 16 species cover crop mix that thrives on regenerative farms, shows how diversity builds soil health naturally, creating the foundation for chemical-free growing that still produces abundant harvests. 8. Use mulch. Those bags of leaves your neighbours set out for pickup. They're looking at garden gold and calling it garbage. Smart gardeners see autumn's leaf drop as nature's free delivery service, bringing the exact materials needed to protect plants and build soil through winter. Leaf mulch does more than just insulate roots from temperature swings. It creates habitat for beneficial insects, breaks down into rich organic matter, and prevents the freeze-thaw cycles that can heave plants right out of the ground. The secret is in the application technique. Rake whole leaves directly onto beds, keeping the layer off plant stems to prevent fungal issues while maintaining air circulation. Wet the mulch layer lightly so it forms a mat that stays put in winter winds. If you lack enough leaves for full coverage, clean straw works efficiently as a 3-inch protective layer. Create leaf towers using chicken wire or bunny fencing to store excess leaves for spring use or leaf mold production. These cylindrical storage systems keep leaves contained while allowing air circulation, turning what others see as yard waste into next year's soil amendments. 7. Protect your tender plants. That beautiful plant you splurged on last spring doesn't have to become an expensive casualty of winter's harsh reality. The difference between plant survival and plant loss often comes down to understanding what protection means for different types of plants. Vulnerable perennials and borderline hardy specimens need strategic protection, not just blind covering. For in-ground plantings, create an insulating mound of soil, compost or leaves around the crown and lower stems, building it 8 to 12 inches high. Evergreen boughs work excellently as natural blankets that won't get heavy with snow. Potted plants face extra challenges since containers lack the insulation of surrounding soil. A good rule is leaving only plants that are 2 zones hardier than your area outside in pots. Cluster containers together and surround them with shredded bark, wood chips or bagged leaves for easy spring removal. For ultimate protection, move tender favourites to unheated spaces like garages, basements or cold frames. These dormant plants need only monthly watering to prevent root desiccation. This small effort transforms expensive plant losses into thriving specimens that return stronger next growing season. 6. Set up season extenders. Why should your harvest end just because temperatures drop? Season extension transforms your garden from a fair weather friend into a year-round food producer, but the structures need to go up before harsh weather hits. Simple hoop tunnels using 1/2-inch PVC pipe anchored with rebar create effective mini greenhouses over beds. Cover these with 6mm greenhouse polyethylene for maximum light transmission and weather protection. The plastic prevents heavy snow from crushing plants while maintaining the warm microclimate plants need to keep growing. Floating row covers offer flexibility for lighter protection needs. Different fabric weights correspond to varying temperature buffers, so you can adjust coverage as conditions change. These breathable covers allow light and moisture through, while insulating against frost, and they fold back easily for harvesting. Cold frames extend the season for hardier crops like lettuce, spinach and kale. Position them to capture maximum winter sun while protecting from harsh winds. Even simple structures dramatically extend harvest periods, turning what would be empty beds into productive growing space that keeps fresh food on your table through the coldest months. Drop a comment and let me know what your biggest winter gardening challenge has been so far. 5. Plant garlic and hardy crops. Time is running out for one of the most rewarding crops you can grow, and missing this window means waiting an entire year for another chance. Garlic planting has a narrow seasonal window that's closing fast, but the payoff makes it worth rushing outside even in cold weather. Garlic needs a long cold period to develop proper bulbs, which is why fall planting is essential. Plant individual cloves pointed end up, 4 to 6 inches apart, and cover with 2 inches of soil. Add a thick mulch layer to insulate against temperature swings and suppress weeds that compete for nutrients. Hardy winter vegetables can still be planted in many zones, especially with protection. Lettuce, spinach, mustards, kale, collards, radishes and peas tolerate cold better than most gardeners realize. In zones 9 and warmer, these crops grow actively through winter, providing fresh harvests when grocery store prices peak. Succession planting every few weeks extends harvest periods and ensures you're not overwhelmed with everything ripening simultaneously. This strategy transforms winter from a barren season into a productive time that reduces grocery bills while improving your family's nutrition. 4. Winterize trees and shrubs. Young trees are like teenagers facing their first real challenge. They need extra support to make it through successfully. The investment you made in new plantings can disappear overnight without proper winter protection, but the right techniques ensure they'll reward you for decades. Trees planted within the last 5 years benefit from trunk wrapping using special tree wrap material or craft paper. Wind this protection around young trunks to prevent splitting from temperature fluctuations and sun-scald damage. Remove wrapping each spring to prevent girdling as trees grow. Roses and hydrangeas in zones 6 and lower need crown protection to survive harsh winters. Create wire cages around these shrubs and fill them with leaves for insulation that lasts all season. This cylindrical cushion prevents the wet-cold combination that destroys plant tissue and leaves you with spring mush instead of thriving shrubs. Established trees and shrubs need less intensive care, but still benefit from root zone mulching. A thick layer around the base protects feeder roots from freeze damage while conserving soil moisture. This simple step dramatically improves survival rates and spring recovery vigor. 3. Clean and store garden tools. Those dirty tools sitting in your shed right now are slowly destroying themselves, costing you money and frustration when spring planting season arrives. Tool maintenance during winter's downtime prevents the heartbreak of discovering your favorite spade has rusted beyond repair just when you need it most. Start with general cleaning by brushing off dirt with a stiff brush and washing stuck-on mud with Castile soap. Dry tools thoroughly before storage, since moisture trapped anywhere becomes rust that weakens metal and shortens tool life. For existing rust, soak tools overnight in equal parts vinegar and water, then scrub with steel wool until clean. Disinfect cutting tools with rubbing alcohol or 10% bleach solution to prevent spreading plant diseases between seasons. Never mix these chemicals together as dangerous reactions can occur. After cleaning, wipe mineral oil over metal parts and apply linseed oil to wooden handles to prevent cracking and maintain flexibility. Remove seasonal structures like trellises and tomato cages that serve no winter purpose. Store them in sheltered spots to prevent weather damage and extend their useful life, saving you money and labor when next season arrives. 2. Create wildlife-friendly spaces. Winter reveals who the real gardeners are, those who only think about themselves versus those who understand that wildlife support creates the ecosystem balance that makes abundant gardens possible. The birds and beneficial insects you help now become your pest control army next growing season. Set up feeding stations with varied birdseed types to attract different species, each bringing unique pest control benefits to your garden space. Provide heated bird baths so visiting wildlife has access to fresh water when natural sources freeze solid. These simple additions transform your winter garden into a hub of activity. Resist the urge to clean up every bit of plant debris, as many beneficial insects overwinter in hollow stems and leaf litter. Leave some areas deliberately messy to provide crucial habitat for the predator insects that will protect your crops next year. Create brush piles from pruned branches to shelter small wildlife. Make DIY bird feeders by rolling pine cones in peanut butter and birdseed, then hanging them with biodegradable twine. This project engages children while creating feeding opportunities that establish your garden as a wildlife destination that pays dividends through natural pest management. 1. Plan your 2026 garden victory. The difference between gardeners who consistently harvest abundance and those who struggle every season isn't luck. It's planning strategy that happens when there's time to think clearly, without planting deadlines breathing down your neck. Winter's quiet pace creates the perfect environment for designing your most successful growing season yet. Keep a detailed garden journal documenting what worked, what failed, and what you'd change about this past season. These notes become invaluable when making decisions about varieties, spacing, and timing for next year. Include photos, weather patterns, and harvest quantities to build a comprehensive record. Sketch new bed layouts and plan crop rotations that prevent soil depletion and disease buildup. Order bare root perennials and trees while selection is best and prices lowest. Use holiday wish lists to add needed supplies and take advantage of off-season deals. Inventory your seed starting supplies, containers, and tools now while there's time to replace or repair items without rushing. Set realistic goals for expansion, focusing on mastering techniques that increase yields from existing space, rather than just adding more beds that stretch your maintenance capacity thin. These 11 winter tasks separate abundant gardeners from wishful thinkers. Start with just 1 or 2 that excite you most, and watch your 2026 garden transform into your best growing season yet. Ready to take your garden planning to the next level? Check out the video I've got lined up next for you.
If you found value in this video, you're going to love this next one.